Hi traders, welcome back. In today's episode, I will analyze the chart of Ethereum and that of XRP and compare their situation with that of Bitcoin that we saw yesterday in the last video. I will let you know as well how to use the RSI to anticipate some bullish breakouts, and on the downside, I will point to some key support areas these markets might be attracted to in the coming months. So let's get started. So here we have the weekly chart of Ethereum. This is a log chart. And as we see, if you remember the chart of Bitcoin from yesterday, we saw that this first interim level of support is steeper one was already broken. In the case of Bitcoin, this correction from the second half of August was a bit more severe in Bitcoin than Ethereum. This lets Ethereum in a better technical shape than Bitcoin, and as a whole speaks some positiveness to the whole crypto market. Now, in the bigger picture, we see that the swing low here that happened in July was really on the top of this larger band here that I've highlighted here on the chart. This is an historical support area where we saw here, for instance, in March 2020, the crash being halted on the lower part of that ascending channel, and we earlier on in 2016-17, especially here in early 17, we saw this huge breakout and acceleration also from this area. We are just sitting on top of it. This means that this is an attractive buying area where we sit right now, but we have this whole area here, this whole range that can go down as we speak, down to just slightly below $700 per Ethereum, where buyers could eventually try to capture better prices. This is if we look to the bigger picture, we see this historic multi-year channel, this ascending structure, and this lower part of the channel is obviously from a long-term perspective a better risk to reward area for those long buy positions, right? Only dipping here below this green rectangle here, the aforementioned zone, dipping into this area, but where I have this red circle, would be more negative for Ethereum. This is known territory for Ethereum. We price traded within that area here. In its beginnings, we have some price action here. We have this use acceleration. So from a structural point of view, this is a known area. We could also dip towards that area to find more bargain prices here. It wouldn't invalidate the bigger picture. The long-term channel wouldn't be affected by it. We'll just revisit that lower part. But for sure, if we dip below these levels, the next attractor becomes obviously the ascending multi-year support. Okay, but we are not there right now. So as we speak, we are still hovering above this blue ascending line. Let me zoom a little bit here. We are reacting here to this steeper angle. This is a positive signal. We might want to attempt a breakout here of this upper resistance, this descending resistance coming from the all-time high in November last year. But before we get there, we would probably get a signal here, a breakout on this resistance drawn on the RSI. This is an RSI set to 9 period, a little bit faster than the 14-1. I prefer to use it, but you can use this technique with any oscillator setting. So if you are using the standard 14 period, it wouldn't be very different to this one. And there is a descending structure corresponding to the whole price action that we have seen here since the highs in May 21. We've seen this attempts here to recapture new all-time highs, but the oscillator was divergence, printing lower highs here along the way, and the most recent lower high in the oscillator corresponds to the mid-August reversal here. And we are not far from breaking this descending resistance. If we see a weekly close here with some momentum, we don't need a lot of momentum to get that signal. This would be an early anticipation that we might want to establish a new leg higher, and then the next target would become probably somewhere here. This could become this intersection here. We could also move the line to fit into more recent price action. We see this slightly higher lows here, so we could flip this line. The intersection would be already in place in terms of timing. This would correspond to this week's. So this speaks also about the potential here for some kind of change in the structure. It can be a reversal, it can be a downside acceleration. Okay, so we have an intersection pointing here to this week in terms of timing. We will not be able to reach that area in terms of price yet, but we have another intersection coming here, the intersection of this support. This is the apex of the apex of this triangular area, where we could develop this potential buying leg in the coming weeks. Should we lose this ascending blue line, then obviously the price will immediately gap down to this ascending support, and once there, it will then start capturing better prices down within this ascending price band here. Let's switch to the price to the chart of XRP here. We see a similar situation here with the oscillator, with the RSI. Also here, descending lows from the top here, early 2021. We don't see higher highs since then in the price, lower highs since then. The oscillator coping with that. And very interestingly here, we have a whole different situation here in this market, because we haven't established new highs since the ones here in 2000 and early late 2017, early 2018. We haven't established new highs as we saw in most other crypto assets. So this market has performed laterally, staging this lateral price action in its entire history. But we do see some dynamic levels here on the chart, and interestingly, we are now here sitting just on top of this descending line that originates here from its all-time high. This is a very strong battle area. This line, we see here strong attacks here in late 2020, early 21. We see a huge breakout here in April 2021, leading to almost reaching that all-time high in 2017, and then dropped again here to this area in a V-shaped reversal, and then a more recent fast drop to this area. And now we are meandering here above and below this line. I foresee that the prices, if we don't see any changes here on the fundamental side of the crypto space, and specifically here XRP, because it has its particular fundamental conditions that have to be resolved, I foresee prices here blurring that line here to the downside. We have an intersection here coming up at 20 cents more or less, with this interim horizontal support. This is a not very strong support. We have a stronger support coming here just shy above the 17 cent. This would intersect later in 1 year, June 23, with this descending line. In any case, this could be an attractive buying level as we where we are trading right now. We saw huge advances starting precisely on this descending line. This line also symbolically means that if the price is above that line, it is ready to conquer new space, is ready to conquer that all-time high. And if we are below, means this is territory, this is bearish territory belonging to this negative period XRP went until it finally broke out here in 2021. So if we dip below here, especially below this slightly smaller descending channel, that would be very negative from a technical point of view. But these areas would be very much or regarded as good opportunities from a risk-reward perspective from or by long-term holders, because it would represent really a bargain. We could also eventually there will be traders who would prefer to see the price dropping below this line and see a vigorous breakout of this line happening again, and as in order to commit to a long-term long position. Okay, so we might see that. We might also see the price never going down below this descending line, and a break of this descending line here I'm pointing to. This is the upper side of this smaller channel. A break of this line would also be seen as a positive and as a first signal that we might want to conquer this descending resistance here. Once this descending resistance is broken, the one coming here from this second high here in April 21, then the price will try to recapture that horizontal all-time high, and eventually we got an intersection here with a dashed line. This line stands here in the dark. It does not correspond to any price point. It's just a Fibonacci extension here from the whole price action from this down sloping channels, and we have an intersection for early 2024 here coming up, but this is irrelevant right now as we speak. So there is a lot of things that can happen on the way. So here we have a market that lost a little bit here of support, okay, as we spoke in yesterday's video, speaking some negativity to the whole crypto space, but it hasn't printed a new low. It may just stay here meandering with slightly tilted to the downside. It wouldn't be seen as negative because really this line has been blurred since this breakdown here in June. So it might be just it might spend time here printing lower lows, and that wouldn't be that negative at all. But if we see a break above this descending line, then we have a positive signal. Similar to Ethereum, if you see a breakout happening here on the RSI, we would have a first anticipated signal that eventually this line wants to be broken and higher targets achieved. So wrapping up the analysis, the weekly chart of Ethereum is technically less deteriorated than the one we saw in Bitcoin yesterday. Let me just zoom in here a little bit. Okay, we saw Bitcoin here trading down to losing this ascending support that we haven't lost here in the chart of Ethereum. This is a divergence that rests negativity to the whole crypto space. Then we could say that long-term buyers may cause crypto markets to go further down in order to capture better risk to reward opportunities. Current levels are attractive for buyers, but historically strong buying zones are not far below. So we may experience a lack of liquidity and prices gapping down through thin air. So that's all I got for you today, guys. I hope you like this brief analysis. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't like it. Also consider dropping a like or a comment. Thanks a lot, and take care.